Dear students, today we are going to do the third chapter of Vistas, Journey to the End of the Earth by Tishani Doshi. Tishani Doshi is a writer, a dancer, journalist, and also a poet of Welsh Gujarati origin. Welsh is the country of Wales, which is in Great Britain. She was born in Madras, India in the year 1975. Journey to the End of the Earth is a travelogue. A travelogue is when people travel, they like to keep a diary or maintain notes of whatever they see and whatever they experience. So in her travelogue, she describes her journey to Antarctica, her experience there. Antarctica, which is the coldest, the driest, and the windiest of all the continents. How did she go there? She went to Antarctica in a Russian research vessel. A vessel is a ship. It was called Academic Shokalsky. She went there under the program Students on Ice, started by Geoff Green, a Canadian. He used to take high school students there so that they would experience Antarctica, see how global warming was affecting it, and realize how human beings have put the earth in danger and how the future would be problematic. She begins by saying that she started her journey from Madras. You know where Madras is? She had to travel around 100 hours to reach her destination, which is Antarctica. Sometimes she went by car, sometimes by aeroplane, and at other times by ship. She had to cross 9 time zones. Time zones are basically every region has their own standard time which they follow. And so she had to cross 9 time zones. She also had to cross 6 checkpoints. Checkpoints are the borders of the region. She also had to cross 3 water bodies, that is the ocean and sea. And she had to cross many ecospheres. Ecosphere is the flora and fauna of a region. Flora is the plant life of the region and fauna is the bird and animal life of that region. So she traveled and crossed many checkpoints, time zones, ecospheres, water bodies. In all, she traveled 100 hours to reach Antarctica. But when she set foot there, she was totally amazed. It was so immense, it was so huge, so large. Everywhere you looked, there was only ice, white ice everywhere. And it was extremely cold. She describes it as a big ping pong ball. A ping pong ball is a table tennis ball which is white in color. She says that she could see the horizon everywhere she looked. Horizon is the place where the earth and the sky seem or appear to meet. She was so surprised by the fact that there was actually a time in the past when India and Antarctica were geographically connected, joined. It was incredible, unbelievable that India was also a part of Antarctica, Gondwana at one time. Then she talks about the history of Antarctica. She says that 650 million years ago, a very big, a giant amalgamated, which is formed of all the land masses joined together. A supercontinent named Gondwana was there. It existed. Where was it located? It was located where Antarctica is now. The climate in those times was warm. There were no human beings. There was a variety, different kind of flora and fauna. Flora, I told you, is the plant life, and fauna is the bird and the animal life. And it was all one big, huge supercontinent, and it was called Gondwana. Now, for 500 million years, Gondwana remained like this. It existed like this. But when the dinosaurs left the earth, they became extinct, and human beings came. This land mass began separating, and continents formed on the globe as we see them today and as we know them today. See, over a period of many, many years, look at the picture, how the Gondwana and all the other continents started separating. She was amazed to know how India pushed northwards towards Asia, and it jammed against Asia to form the Himalayas. And the South America drifted towards North America. It joined North America, and in doing so, it opened the Drake Passage. This is the Drake Passage, as you can see in the picture. With the opening of the Drake Passage and the continents drifting away, it created a cold circumpolar current, that is, winds, freezing winds, fierce winds, very strong winds. And these winds kept Antarctica frozen, frigid, desolate. Nobody could live there. And it kept it at the bottom of the world. She says that when you visit Antarctica, you feel like you are a part of that history of Antarctica. You understand the Cordilleran folds, that is the range of mountains, and how they have undergone changes. You also understand the pre-Cambrian granite shields, that is the rocks and the mountains, and how they have undergone change with the passage of time. Of course, very, very slowly, but they have undergone change. You also understand how the ozone layer has increased and how carbon dioxide is also increasing. The ozone layer is depleting. Sorry, not increasing, depleting. And you also understand evolution and extinction, how human beings came and what advancements were made and everything. And all to understand all this is indeed very mind-boggling, puzzling, incredible. How, when you think how such a thing has happened in million years, it can be really very unbelievable. Tishari Doshi, as I told you, is from Madras, and Madras is a very, very warm and hot place. But and she's used to that hot temperature. But when she reached Antarctica, it was like freezing. It was so cold, and her body really had to adjust to that kind of temperature. Antarctica has 90% of Earth's total ice volumes. It does not have, it is devoid. Devoid means it doesn't have any human markers. No trees are there. No billboards, that is, no advertisements that we see on the roads, they are there. There are no buildings there because nobody can live there in such extreme temperatures. So, For Tishani Doshi, for her body, it was like a big shock, going from such high temperatures to such low temperatures. And not only for her body, what she saw also there was totally unbelievable, amazing, because she saw the tiniest, the microscopic organisms, that is the midget and the mites. And she also saw the big blue whale there. In Antarctica, there is no night. Days can go on and on and on in austral summer light. And that itself is a very difficult phase that you have to pass. She stayed there for 2 weeks. And there was silence everywhere. And this silence was only broken by avalanches. Avalanches are when hills and mountains, there are ice slides, when ice falls down. And there's the carving of ice sheet. That means the icebergs break and ice sheets, they go down. And this noise breaks the silence of Antarctica. Otherwise, there's no sound there. And this pure silence is broken by the sound of the avalanches and the carving of sheets. But for the human beings, all these things indicate that the prognosis is not good. Prognosis means what the future holds in store for you. For Earth, it is really bad because Antarctica getting warm, imagine what the other land masses will experience in the coming years or in the future. And therefore, the future appears to be really bad if we look at what is happening in Antarctica. And only from Antarctica can we actually know, because we can be sitting in our homes watching things on TV that icebergs are melting and they are separating and there are avalanches and all, and we just look at the TV and we think, oh, that's okay, that's happening far away. But when you go to Antarctica, you actually realize that all this is a fact and it is happening. And therefore, this program on ice is very helpful, and we will continue again with the second part of it. The first part ends here.